finally brought back one of their best, smartest features. Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV. Real quick note, I'm trying out a little new microphone today to help with some background noise. This is all foreign to me, so I need your feedback. Let me know how the audio works on this video. I'm trying not to like yell the way that I normally do and blow the video away. Anyway, this thing right here, first of all, this is just a really good smart camper. It's a private, we normally call it quad bunk. It's actually a triple bunk because this has a monster camp kitchen space with this giant double door fridge and I think combo freezer feature. The floor plan overall reminds me a lot of a Grey Wolf 29 TE, which is a model that you maybe have seen in the history of this channel. But what's cool about this is it creates very private sleeping spaces for everyone with a nice big living room super slide shared living experience, but also private front true queen bedroom, which is really cool. And when the slide closes and you have more limited access to the bunk area, it has a ludicrous move bunk, get out the way kind of cargo system here that you want to throw grills, griddles, you want to put the kids' bikes in there, you want to throw your mother-in-law in there, anything like that. Like you could do all kinds of things. Obviously, the sky is just the limit, just a matter of what wants to work for you. Now we're looking at the basic level of this today. There's also the elite package, picks up a couple things, including some fiberglass opportunities available on this if you want a little smexier, shinier look on it. Belly is enclosed, walkable roof, and it looks like they're offering the opportunity for a third air conditioner on these things now, which is kind of crazy, kind of wild. But I always try to be fair. I try to share the good, the bad, the ugly with everything in between. This RV is, you could sleep a lot of butts for one single toilet. And some people like that the bathroom's next to the front bedroom so that you don't have to walk across the RV. But some people don't want their kids in and out like that all night. Everything is a push and a pull, a plus and a minus. That's what this floor plan does. And again, I'll always try to shoot you straight. And again, let me know how the audio is coming through here. Hopefully it doesn't ruin this footage. I don't know. Now we are in a live dealer display. This is a new model. It has already this morning proven very popular. So don't be surprised if we have a couple breaks for a couple of guests. Although a lot of times when they see that I have a camera in here, they're like, oh no, I'm scared. And they run away. So we're starting kind of at the front bedroom, bathroom hallway and working our way back just to give you a little bit of a look around. They did a good job in this one, not putting a lot of heat vents in the floor. That does seem to be something they're paying attention. That floor matching carpetless floor flush super slide, also something that I like. That is also a larger, what I call true U dinette. Now this is very similar to the Grey Wolf 29 TE. Couple key differences. This one's a little taller ceiling. Oh, you want to come on in? Come on in. What you guys don't realize, about 45 minutes just went by. I told you this thing was popular. But again, I'm not going to be a jerk and lock this sucker down. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get back here. Now, one quick thing to mention. This has one air by default. But I think this RV is actually always 50 amps. So if you want to at least add a second one, you can. And then if you want to get really bananas, you can add a third air even back here in the bedroom. Those air units work pretty well. They are not super quiet though, so I hope you appreciate how I'm just being fair and being real about this. One nice little touch feature I like that they included is a barefoot friendly built-in ladder. That's one of those little things right there that a lot of people just don't always realize and or appreciate. Now, if you feel like it, you can add some entertainment opportunities for the kids on the rear wall. But, you know, by default, you're probably going to need to sleep everybody. One of my favorite things, though, is the ludicrous way this bunk moves out the way. And what's so funny is this is something Jayco used to do in like 2010, 15 years ago. And they quit doing it. And I am so glad they brought this back because, you know, maybe you don't need all the extra bunks. Maybe you just have like one kid and they want their own private room. This can now be like a little play space, function space. Or when you're going down the road, this could be an awesome little area to like load bikes or anything like that. Now, I guess I can go ahead and use this space to kind of change the angulature, the angle of the dangle of the video here, and show you off all the little storage pockets. One that's easy to miss, though, is actually right down here. You have a built-in shoe garage, a little flip-flop shop, and if you remember, you're right next to the entry door, so that can really cut the clutter. And at a glance, I was a little disappointed with this space. until I got all the way to the top and realized that they actually did put a couple hanging rods in there. So you actually have bunk room closet space. And I think I can count the number of stick and tin bunk rooms with actual closet space on basically one hand. That's just not a common find that you typically encounter in a lot of RVs. I do want to mention again that taller ceiling, the lighter color palette, opening things up in here. I also want to give them a tip of the cap for going cloth touch. Now, the cool thing about Jayco Cloth Touch is that it actually has, straight from the factory, basically the highest concentration of effectively Scotch guarding that they possibly can put on legally, which of course folds down into a larger sleeper. But with a private bunk room, I don't know how often you'll need to do that, but the capacity is there. You also have the capacity to change the sofa into a couple different arrangements. We're looking at the optional theater seat, which is probably how I would personally want one of these. But there's also a trifold sleeper sofa and a bifold jackknife sofa with a big storage trunk below. Some folks really like Mr. Richard Vale. He's very vocal about this in the videos, and I appreciate that. I love that he expresses how he feels in a non like awful way, you know. He does not like the contraception control armrest. He likes to be able to cuddle, and that's cool. If you want to remove that central armrest, you can. Each of the three pieces of the sofa just dislodge. And then like a V bracket, basically, kind of sort of like a residential sectional style sofa, you know. Now, the entertainment is on this forward angle wall. So everyone kind of has a decent view of it should you choose to add a TV, and we have ourselves a guest. Again, just trying to respect the space that everyone is sharing today, so not being, you know, pardon the extra interruptions, or not interruptions, breaks, sorry. Anyway, very nice pantry. Actually, there was a young lady that just came in earlier and goes, oh, this one actually has a pantry. It drives me crazy when they don't. Well, I get it. For a big family like this, I totally get that. That looks like wasted space, but that's actually your furnace down there, so they didn't waste anything. You have your converter fuse box next to it. Small space for a wastebasket, but a space for a wastebasket, so I like that. You might notice, too, they've also maintained the propane oven, where a lot of brands have been discontinuing and deleting those things, so we don't appear to have that kind of thing going on here. Also, all plywood drawer construction. You might notice they're not using particle board and stickers in your imagination. Kind of like the cabinetry. You have the nice hidden hinges and the pocket screwed lumber core construction here. Moving forward from there, let's talk about the bathroom. Let's get into it right here. It's going to be something people either like or hate. Couple things here. It's a single bath model, and some people feel for something this large that can sleep this many people should be a bath and a half. I respect that. If you feel that way, this is just not the camper for you, and that's fine. This is a radius shower. Now, it's a taller ceiling, so you notice how I don't have headroom issues in the shower. I'm representing about 6'2" on camera with my shoes on. Elbow room in a radius shower is a concern for some folks, though. It's something that they don't necessarily like. But it's a shower, not a tub, in a bunkhouse bottle, which some people actively seek, which can sometimes be hard to find. Space around the toilet, I found fairly fluffy friendly. Again, no floor vents in the bathroom. J-Flight trying to do a better job of that overall here, I think. Decent counter space in this bathroom as well. I'm not seeing a lot of spaces dedicated to like hang towels, but I can kind of work around that. I can deal with that a little bit. Remember, if you get the second air conditioner, normally it's going to be located up here in the bedroom. It is potentially possible you could order just a second air in the bunk room, but I think you don't really get the bunk room air until you go all the way up to third AC mode traditionally. Otherwise, it might be some kind of weird special request. I was also very pleasantly surprised to discover they did stick with his 60 by 80 true queen bed here. As long as this RV is, I wouldn't have been surprised if they tried to go down to the shorty princess bed, but they did not. Also something I like, with those struts, they made accessing this space very simple and easy. Now, your personal bedroom storage here is very limited. Thankfully, remembering again that you have some, not an amazing amount, but some storage for the kids in the bunk room. You know, it could be worse. I wanted to close that door just to make sure the slide wasn't going to crush it, because we are about to push that button the way that I push my wife's and enter road mode. And that's what I thought was going to happen. When the slide closes, you're going to lose access to the bedroom. However, the kitchen over here remains very readily accessible because you do not need to do any like crazy runway model on the catwalk side step to get through there. Something that came as a very pleasant surprise to me, though, I was fully expecting when the slide closed to pinch the bunk room off. I was actually pretty certain we were going to lose that. And frankly, it's not impeded, I think, whatsoever. So that's kind of a cool find depending on how you plan to use it. Now, when it comes to towing, I do not think this pairs very well with a half-ton pickup. Now, understand, if I preached half-ton towability on a camper like this, we'd probably sell more of them. But this thing, tip to tail, it's approaching 37 feet. I recently put out a video helping people understand, did you know that your trailer could be too long for your pickup, even if you have an appropriate tow rating? Length of the RV versus the wheelbase of your vehicle is a very real challenge. And lighter curb weight, half-ton type pickups will sometimes struggle with a larger RV like this. So the general safe recommendation that I'm going to offer here is a 3/4 ton of some variety, but you always want to make sure your truck and trailer specs play nice with one another. Now, remembering that this thing is almost 37 feet, now that's true tip to tail, tongue to bumper. The awning kind of looks a little small, but it's not a small awning. It's just a huge RV. Quick little dad paranoia cautionary tale I want to offer you. Right here in the middle of the RV, amidships, if you were, your water heater and your furnace exhausts are over here on the campsite of the RV where the kids are going to hang out. So you want to make sure you tell the kids, look but don't touch, so that we don't have any burned fingers ruining our trip or anything like that. Working our way back here, the outside speakers are not completely on the roof of the RV, but they are getting fairly close. But this is really the focal point and talking area of this camper back here. Like, if you want to say, well, it's not an outside kitchen because it doesn't have a cooker and it doesn't have a sink. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you on that. Like, I can understand the logic behind that. But generally speaking, we're going to call this an epic camp convenience center. That Smurf light is crazy aggressive, especially on here on camera. Like, it blots everything out. You lose all of the depth and perception. So let me get you up in there a little bit. Now, you might have noticed, whether you're going to use this for like a little blender station for, you know, when it's Pina Coladaberg time. Anybody remember the movie Club Dread and the song Pina Coladaberg? It's not Margaritaville, it's Pina Coladaberg. That always made me laugh. Now, I personally like and support what they did here. Instead of building in a grill or a griddle that, frankly, most of the cookers that are provided by the RV industry kind of suck, they let you pick one. And if you're like, I don't care about an outside grill or griddle, you're not paying for something you don't like. But a big refrigerator, some storage, a couple power outlets, those are things that almost everybody could always use and always enjoy. So I think that's a smart way to go. Now, behind that ladder in the bunk room, they had a dead pocket of space, and they just didn't waste it. And I have so much respect and appreciation for that. Now, back here, you've got three things. First of all, we have our black tank flush hookup, which is really far away from the bathroom. You do not normally see that. That's exceptionally uncommon. The black circle on the right is a cold water sprayer port, a little bit higher pressure. And then on the left there is a hot-cold outside utility shower, a little lower pressure. So that's why you're like, why did they put two showers on the outside? Well, they each do a slightly different thing. It does have a walkable roof. It's available with up to 200 watts of factory solar. By default, has none. Camera prepped as well. Then you got this big guy over here. This does have a deadbolt, by the way. So this has the same security as the primary entry door. And as we saw on the inside and in our earlier flyby footage, this can go away. But if you notice, what's kind of cool, you've got like these little brackets down here so that everything just sort of, it's just simple, it's easy, it's sturdy, it's stable, it's flexible, it's functional, agile, mobile. It's a lot of things. I just call it awesome. So let me know what you think, everybody. Good, bad, ugly, and in between. I'll leave you links, as I tend to do, down in the video description to check for pricing and availability. And if there's anything else you'd like to see, know about, leave me a note, and I'll do my best to either fulfill it in a future video or just answer your comment, whatever might work for you. Short of that, thanks again for tuning in, everybody. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. I'm trying to look busy because my boss literally just walked in and is behind my shoulder over here.